kind of Pokemon you got around here?
I don't know. I don't play that nerd game.
Dang, bro. You got lame ones.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me. Underground Pokemon? Is that what they are? Cave Pokemon?
No.
Because I live in a basement?
No. That'd be like Onyx, but no Onyx is.
I think he's my favorite Pokemon.
Really? Which one is he?
The rock snake thing?
You just made so many Pokemon fans so mad, but yeah, that's what he is.
What is he really?
I don't know.
Oh.
But I'm sure they'd be
devastated
lit
that I
up
called him
that you called him a rock snake.
Oh, freak. How was their Thanksgiving dinner?
So good.
Good. Good to hear.
Yeah. You know, same as every Thanksgiving dinner.
Did you, who made the turkey?
Joy?
Cook it in the oven?
Yes.
Dude, we did a turkey. I asked you that because I want to tell you something about my life.
Right. You weren't trying to get me in trouble with my mother-in-law?
Nope. That was a pleasantry. Dude, we did Friendsgiving. Had a turkey out of the smoker, dude. This is the way. This is the way.
I've made smoker turkey.
I know you have. You've made it for me. But every year it's reaffirmed to me. It's as a testimony. This is the way the Lord cooks his Thanksgiving turkey. Because he's American.
Yeah.
Because God is American.
All that being said, oven, not the way.
We had oven turkey for a long time at our grandma's.
Yeah. Actually, Grandma Bishop, I think, used to stovetop it, bro.
How do you stovetop a turkey?
I don't know, but it was rough.
God bless her, dude.
Yeah.
Rest in power, Grandma Bishop.
Yeah. Rest in power. Those leftists, bro. They can turn a phrase. Unfortunately, it's mostly lies when they do.
I like rest in power.
I agree.
I'm all in on that one.
I agree. They can turn a phrase. But they're liars.
Why?
They just never say anything that's true.
Oh my gosh.
Or write anything that's true. They're
fair.
either liars or deceived or both. Typically both. What do you see?
Dude, your facial hair is not looking terrible this year. It's better than it has been ever before.
Dude. I hate it.
Oh, dude, that's what I say too. Look at mine.
But yours actually looks good too. But Aaron really likes it. So I'm like, why do you want to be married to a homeless person? Like,
dude, I get compliments on mine every day. I'm like, people are like, hey, I like the facial hair. I'm like, I hate it. It's horrible.
It's growing in pretty good. But
it grows right here. And then I get like scraggly stuff right here, but then I have bald patches in the middle.
So like this?
Yeah.
You mean?
Yeah, who am I? I'm preaching to the choir.
Definitely.
Me and Rocky grow the same facial hair. His is a little thicker than mine. For those that are just listening, which is everyone.
Yeah. So, yeah. For sure. We've had quite the month. I guess it's been since the last one, probably.
Oh, has it really?
What else is new with you, bro?
I can check.
We're going to
October 25th.
talk about anything else before we get to the recent verdict, or you ready to jump on in?
Oh, I'm sure I'm ready to jump in. I'm going to be honest, I don't have that much to say about it.
Really? Por qué no?
Everything to say about the verdict, we basically called a year ago.
That's
we
true.
knew it was all going to happen. If I remember correctly, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, I think we even said it's going to go to trial and he's going to get off.
Maybe.
I think we said that.
Maybe. Yeah. There is some stuff, though. Like, I did not expect Anna Kasparian of the Young Turks to come out and say, I was wrong about this.
Oh, did that happen?
Yeah. Like, she's like, I watched the video and everything I've been saying is wrong. But it's like, maybe as a journalist, you could watch the video first, but what do I know? You know? But I guess she's probably more like an editorializer. I don't think she's I don't know. I think she's an opinion. She's the Sean Hannity of leftists.
Sure. Maybe we can talk about the Young Turks in a minute. Let's continue with this verdict talk. I have some questions about the Young Turks that I recently learned. Questions, statements, comments, that kind of thing. Let's talk about the verdict.
All right.
I wouldn't have
So
anticipated that.
I didn't expect that. However, props to Anna because
It's hard to eat crow when you're...
she doesn't have to. Her boss is standing his ground. Chunk is all about it. Chunk is like, no, this guy's a murderer. It's like, what? Even Anna watched the video and doesn't think he's a murderer, you idiot. What are you talking about? I don't see how you could watch the videos and not know. And then watch the case. So I was listening to Tim Pool on the way over, right? And him and his guests, he had that right-wing tranny. What's her name? Blair White? No, Blair. I think maybe it's Blair White.
I don't know for sure. Jamie, can you Google that for us?
Anyways, so and one other guy, and they said that this was a net negative because in closing arguments, the defense attorney said something to the effect of, "I am glad Kyle Rittenhouse shot these gentlemen." Yeah, Blair White.
Blair White.
Notice like the hottest tranny on the planet is also a conservative.
I wouldn't even guess she was a tranny.
I know, dude. She's cute. Or he's cute, I guess. But anyways, so the defense attorney said something to the effect of, "I'm glad Kyle shot these gentlemen." Which I agree. I'm glad Kyle's not dead, first of all. And I think that's just what the lawyer probably meant. I didn't watch the closing arguments. But Tim Pool and Blair White were like, "Oh, yeah, that made me cringe because I don't want anyone to be dead." And I'm like to the point where it's like, I don't know why people think that way. Because in my mind, one of those gentlemen that he killed, I think the guy that hit him with the skateboard, that he was convicted of
pedophilia,
anally raping a 9-year-old boy. Like, yes. That is the specific charge. It's not anal rape, but it's forced sodomy and I think they even said anal sodomy of a 9-year-old child.
I think they called it anal rape in the...
Did they?
Yeah.
And he, not only that, but there were 5 other boys who he had molested. He would date women intentionally who had 9 to 11-year-old boys and then rape the children.
Yeah.
I'm glad Kyle killed that piece of shit. Right? Are you kidding me? How can you not be glad that guy's dead? And I get it, you know? Everyone can be forgiven, but he doesn't have to be forgiven here while he's still
I don't know.
Victimizing young boys, you know? So, glad that guy's dead. Glad Kyle shot that guy. The other guy he shot was super irritating in the first place. The other guy he killed. And he was also a known criminal, had some violent charges, had beat up his grandma or something. So I'm glad that guy's dead. I mean, I'm indifferent to. I'm between indifferent and glad he's dead, because he was a hunk of crap, and he was trying. Yeah, and he was trying to kill a kid. He was trying to kill a kid. You know.
Yeah.
And then, and I could be wrong about which one's which. I'm not sure which one is the pedophile, but I thought the skateboarder was the pedophile. And then the guy whose arm he blew off also was a criminal. He's got some also has some domestic violence charges. I mean, none of these guys were good people.
Did you watch that guy's testimony, the one that survived?
Yeah, it was brutal.
It just outright lies.
Yeah.
He wasn't defending himself. He was attacking me. It's like, okay, were you walking towards him with your gun drawn? Yeah. Were you pointing at him? Yeah.
So his gun was lowered until you raised your gun is exactly what the question. Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard to watch.
And then, dude, so he killed 3 psychopaths. I mean, I think good things came of it. Three barely functioning psychopaths. They're not even the rich psychopath that has a bunch of mistresses and a ton of money and pays a ton in taxes. They're the kind of psychopaths that victimize children. And
they're the kind that show up for a mob to, burn down
Kenosha.
Burn down the black market district in Kenosha. That's what they said on the news. I don't know. They said that they went to the predominantly black areas of Kenosha and burned down all the businesses there. The mobs did.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I don't.
These mobs always just burn down those kind of towns.
That's where the protest started.
They're never burning down the east side of Salt Lake City. They're never.
They're not up in the suburbs.
Yeah, they're burning down the ghetto. Anyways. So I stand with Kyle Rittenhouse's lawyer. I'm glad Kyle shot these gentlemen, and I think it's a net positive for the world. The world is a better place because Kyle shot three people. Well, because Kyle killed 2 people. It's still kind of sucky because that one guy's only lost his bicep.
Yeah, I don't know.
And another thing. So Kyle... oh, crap. What was I? I was going somewhere. I was thinking about our friend important. Who was going to come on. I don't know. I can't remember. Sheesh.
Stupor of thought. Sheesh. We'll leave it be. Yeah, in the end, I don't know if I buy into the he's a hero of the right thing.
Go ahead.
I don't know if I definitely don't buy into he's a villain of the left. I think he's a 17-year-old kid that got in over his head.
So
he did. I don't think he left his house and said, "I hope I get to shoot someone today."
There are people who think that he's a murderer.
Yeah.
And I was trying to think of where they were coming from. And I thought of 2 things. First, the picture that the defense showed him pointing a gun at the 2 people, right?
Yeah.
Notice, I have a hard time believing that happened because they didn't bring them as witnesses. They only showed the video, but they didn't bring them as witnesses. And even the judge said, I can't tell the jury to even consider that because you didn't bring a complainant. You only brought a blurry picture, right? That I could not tell what that was, that picture. That was crazy.
Sure.
And even if that had happened, he had pointed a gun at those 2 people. He spent, according to Wisconsin law and according to my conscience, he spent sufficient time running away from these gentlemen to justify a self-defense. And then, what was the other one? Oh, the other one was he shouldn't have been there. If he hadn't been there, those gentlemen would still be alive. You're right. A pedophile and another piece of crap would still be alive if Kyle wasn't there. And if Kyle wasn't there, then who knows what they would have burned down. The reason they started trying to kill him was because he was putting out the fires they were setting.
Yeah.
So if the police, and they say, oh, he crossed state lines. He did cross state lines. But if I were to go to protect the major city of my state where I work a lot, I'd be farther away
than he was from his home.
From my house than he was from his house.
Well, and his dad lives there.
Yeah, his dad lives there. He works there. He has a job there. And he's not, if the cops did the same thing in Salt Lake and those riots in Salt Lake had gotten out of hand, I'd have done the same thing. In a heartbeat. I'd have done the same thing. I'd have gone up there with an AR or at least a pistol, start putting out fires, helping people who were hurt, and then if somebody tried to hit me with a skateboard, I'd have shot him.
I tend to suspect you'd have done your kung fu on him first. The only
Maybe.
people you'd have been shooting were
probably
people with guns.
A bit better of a fighter than old Kyle Rittenhouse, but not better with a gun. Kid's a damn savage, dude.
Holy cow, yeah, he is.
But I don't see how you can say he shouldn't have been there. And Joe Rogan said the same thing. oh, who lets their kid out of their house? I agree. I would not send my 17-year-old kid to be there, but that's only because his dad should have been there. You know?
Yeah.
And I don't think you're right. I think that the only reason he shouldn't have been there is because his parents should have stopped him. But legally and morally, I don't think he had any reason to not be there. He should have been there protecting his community, just like everyone else should have been. They were burning Kenosha down. Did you notice the fires?
Yeah.
And then when people tried to put out those fires, there was one guy who tried to put out his own business when it was on fire, and they hit him upside the head with a fire extinguisher or something.
Yeah. The videos are brutal. They're hard to watch.
Yeah, it's like
they're super duper hard to watch.
He should have been there. I'm sorry. That's the way it is. He should have been there. And if you don't think so, if you wouldn't have been there, then you're either a leftist or somewhat of a coward.
Prove us wrong, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the end, he definitely got in over his head.
He did.
He's a
But
17-year-old
he was
kid.
he was a 17-year-old kid against convicted felons. I mean, the people who would been to jail and prison. He didn't know what he was doing.
And these are the people that are willing to burn down a city. These are the people that are willing, the proletariat of the revolution, convicted felons.
For sure.
They've been the tool of the revolution
every time.
for 100 years.
Yep.
120 years.
And
10 years.
I don't.
I think the October.
Also, if you don't know that those three gentlemen are white by now, you're really uninformed. Because I can't believe how many people think that they're black.
This is a story about a 17-year-old killing 3 black men. It's like, that's not what happened at all.
So, but there's one more angle I'd like to approach this from.
Okay.
I'd like to talk to our libertarian friends out there.
Always.
And I didn't think there would be a libertarian that thought this was murder, but apparently there's one self-proclaimed libertarian who thinks this is murder. At least last I heard, he's a libertarian, but I don't know. Is that not true?
As far as I know.
The person I'm talking about? So let's say Kyle Rittenhouse went there, took his AR with intent to kill. He pointed his gun at the Ronkowskis or Wonkowskis or whatever. And then baited the gentleman into chasing him till he turned and shot him, which is so diabolical. I mean, the kid is not that devious, first of all, and I don't know if he's even that smart. But either way.
No, he ran extra slow. It has nothing to do with the weight he's carrying.
So let's say all that is true. He tricked all 3 of those people into following him. Why didn't he finish the job with the third guy, first of all? Why didn't he? But either way, let's say all that is true. He murdered these gentlemen. Okay? So morally, I think, let's let him get away with this one for sure because he killed pieces of garbage. Utter human pieces of garbage. If I was on that jury and I knew and they had presented a better case as to he had pointed the gun, I'd still have a hard time convicting.
Sure.
I don't want people who kill men who rape 5, 9 to 11-year-old boys to go to prison. And that's Steven Crowder said the same thing. You know, I agree 100% with Steven Crowder on that.
And that is unless it's premeditated, that's
even premeditated.
That's luck of the draw right there. But
yeah.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, it is luck.
Yeah,
it is luck. But if you go to a riot and shoot 3 people, and all 3 of them have rap sheets as long as the next guy, what kind of people are you dealing with at these riots? You know, 100% are pieces of garbage. It's
people that are willing to riot. Like
you can't shoot 3 guys and not get a criminal, and that doesn't show you what kind of peaceful protest we're at here. You know.
Well, they were in the act of committing a crime.
Exactly. So. Anyway, so. But let's say all this is true. Say he freaking went out there to murder somebody. He did it. As a libertarian, if you're watching the prosecution and the prosecutorial overreach that happened in this trial, you should be cheering for him to be let go too. I don't care if we had the guy on video murdering. I don't care if we had the guy that he killed on video molesting those boys. If the prosecution overreaches like that, he should be let go.
How do you mean the prosecution overreaches?
So
Tell us a little deeper what happened. Explain a little more.
When the prosecutor, first of all, that photograph that they entered, he played on the judge's lack of knowledge on digital things because it was zoomed in after. It wasn't zoomed in when they were taking the picture. They zoomed it in after, which means AI fills in it wasn't even the same picture. It didn't look like the same picture even. So there's that. He also questioned Kyle's use of his Fifth Amendment rights after he'd been arrested.
Because he...
And tried to make it look like that's what made him look guilty.
Yeah.
And that, because he had got a lawyer before he turned himself in, and the lawyer said, don't say anything because he's a lawyer and he knows what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah.
And that is illegal, completely illegal. And there was something else that the defense wanted to use too. The prosecution wasn't turning over all witnesses, which according to the Supreme Court is legal because the prosecution's looking for the truth, supposedly, but this guy definitely was not looking for the truth. There was jury intimidation.
Yeah.
All those things are a libertarian's nightmare. All those things are
a hellscape.
Yeah, and the judge was trying to show, this system works. We didn't want to declare a mistrial. But even after the jury came back as not guilty, he should have declared it a mistrial without prejudice. Or with prejudice so that they couldn't retry him. Because he cheated. The prosecution cheated. The MSNBC following the jury cheated. All the mob outside the courthouse yelling, "We'll burn this city down," cheated. And that's not what limited government looks like. That's what show trials look like. And mob rule looks like.
This trial's for sure.
And
it's to distract us from what else is going on.
Sure. And they act like, I don't care what the crime is. You can't have an unfair system like that because in a matter of no time, which is now, it turns into political crucifixion, which is what they were trying to do with
political theater, for sure.
With Kyle Rittenhouse. And now don't get me wrong, if there's video of the pedophile and he's getting off on technicalities, I think that the dad should probably step in at that point, pull a Kyle Rittenhouse, let's say. But we can't be allowing the government to do garbage like this, when all Kyle was doing was their job. So, if the Kenosha police had been defending local businesses, Kyle wouldn't have been there.
So I guess I have this question then. Why this trial? Why is this the political hanging of the year?
Is this a rhetorical question?
No, it's a serious question.
So, let me go back first. First of all, you should be glad Kyle Rittenhouse got off because
it shows that the system
there was prosecutorial overreach, and
it should have been a mistrial.
It should have been a mistrial. And the thing about, I was going to say, this judge is, sorry folks, I'm off the caffeine, so I'm really losing my mind here. This judge should have declared a mistrial. He didn't declare a mistrial because he wanted to show that it wasn't like, that the system could still work. He wanted to show after the Chauvin trial that the system could still work, which is fine. But the only way the system works is if everyone in it does their job. So the defense has to defend their client. The prosecution has to search for justice and truth and play by certain rules. And the judge has to make sure that both of those people are doing their job. So the judge should have done his job to show that the
system works.
Yeah, he shouldn't have had to let a prosecution cheat to show that the system works. He should have done his job to show that the system works. Anyways, the question was, why this one?
Yes.
Because there are certain elements in this society. My guess would be people who fund the prosecutor's re-election campaign don't want you to think that you have a right to defend yourself.
Well, I guess that makes sense. Politically.
That's got to be what it is. I bet this prosecution's coffers swell after this. Because there's a man, a billionaire somewhere, that's like, I don't want Americans to have guns or feel like they're entitled to self-defense. So I will pay you a bunch of money for your re-election, for your campaign, to prosecute this, to get this kid in prison.
Yeah.
And I think he did a fine enough job.
That's interesting.
That's the only thing that makes sense. That's what makes sense, that the
because if they're
news organizations are coordinating with it, you know.
Well, if they're looking to make it about race, there are way easier trials going on right now about race. The Ahmaud Arbery trial is going on right now. It's so the killers were much more clearly. They shot him in the back. He was unarmed.
With the
Ahmaud chased him in a truck.
Arbery trial, I think that probably is the difference. I think that
there's an actual racial element.
The right was not going to unite him behind those three. Is it three rednecks that shot that guy? So. But that
one's
the
not
right
a political
was
theater because we all agree on it.
This trial was no doubt self-defense. It shouldn't have gone to trial in the first place. And the right was very united behind Kyle Rittenhouse.
You know who came out and said that?
Who?
Tulsi Gabbard did.
Yep. What'd she say? Shouldn't have even gone to trial?
Shouldn't have even gone to trial.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if you heard, guess who else is on trial this week?
I don't know.
Ghislaine Maxwell.
Oh, yeah, that might be the distraction.
Guess how much information we got about it?
How much?
A courtroom sketch.
What?
This 17-year-old
How was she
was filmed. It wasn't a very good sketch.
Oh.
This 17-year-old was filmed for 2 weeks, breaking down in front of, grown adults, getting attacked with questions, And freaking this pedophile enabler is... They're not even filming it. They're not even...
Yeah.
That's crazy. True. That is crazy to me.
It could all be a smokescreen for that. I didn't even think about that.
Watch out for Ghislaine, bro.
Yeah.
Don't let her near your daughters.
For sure.
No. Anymore, because, the monster killed himself.
You don't have any proof to the contrary. I
wish those jokes hadn't died, bro.
Yeah,
that needs to
for
come back.
Sure. That was I saw one the other day. Pretty too dope.
Yeah, I mean, like in the mainstream, I need famous actors to be, people with a following to be like.
That one was pretty good though. It was like,
what did it say?
Like a list of 10 interesting or 10 reasons that people like beef or something. I don't know. And then the 10th one was Epstein didn't kill himself. I don't remember what it was. It was funny.
Oh, that should never die. That is hilarious.
I had one more thing to say about the Rittenhouse thing before we moved on, but I'm in rough shape with my mind. So, ask your questions, bro. About the Turks,
the Young Turks?
The Young Turkles.
Okay.
The Young Turkeys.
Tell me if you know the answer, but this is my understanding.
Okay.
The Young Turks were the party in power in Turkey when the Armenian Genocide happened. Is that correct?
I don't know. I know that Chunk has, in the past, denied the Armenian Genocide.
Yeah, so that's my understanding. Like, the current Turkish government denies the Armenian Genocide ever happened.
Yeah, but so did Chunk Uyghur. It's Chank, but I call him Chunk Uyghur.
Is he the leader of the Young Turks?
Yeah.
He's not the leader of Turkey right now. Who is the leader of Turkey right now?
Do you not know what I mean when I say the Young Turks? Anna Kasparian of the Young Turks?
I guess I do.
Oh, okay. The Young Turks is a news channel on YouTube.
Right, but they're the news channel for the Young Turks political party in Turkey. Is that wrong?
That's wrong.
Oh, that was my understanding.
No, So Chank worked for like MSNBC or something.
So they're Americans. The Young Turks.
Yeah.
On YouTube.
Or yeah, of Turkish descent.
Okay. I didn't know that.
So I think just Chunk is Turkish.
See,
but,
I'm glad I asked these questions. I feel like I'm probably not the only one that has them.
So Chunk worked for CNN or MSNBC, one of those. And when we invaded, I think
you're a child sometimes. Freaking Chunk, dude. Oh my gosh.
I think when Bush invaded Iraq, he went off. He was very against the war, and
which I don't hate that.
Yeah.
Platform.
Oh yeah. At the time, he was
very unpopular.
Yeah.
Sure.
So they said you got to ease up on it. He's like, no, I'm not gonna stop talking about this, and so he ended up getting fired or whatever. You know, they parted ways, and he started the Young Turks. The Young Turks. He wasn't always a belligerent moron. Like he had some things. Most things I disagreed with, but he
raised good points.
Yeah, but over the years, because of who backs him financially, and because of the unsilent minority, the big mouth minority in his followership, he had to go as hard left as he could, and now he's trying to maintain it. And the only way you can maintain a hard left stance is through lies. Belligerence and lies. So.
Is he the one that they tracked back to he who must not be named? George Soros?
So they say, so I don't know. They say it's another guy, but the guy there's two billionaires. One's George Soros. There's another guy. The other guy has never had a venture where he hasn't joined with George Soros, but this time he did with the Young Turks, you know? Like, they tried to separate themselves, but it's like, okay, you know?
Yeah.
So, but they have a huge YouTube channel. They have tons of money, tons of power, but their viewership has been dwindling for...
Oh, yeah, okay.
For years.
I think they're named after a party in Turkey.
That very well could be, but I didn't know that.
And the Young Turks, the political party, were the ones that were in power during the Armenian Genocide, and their leader caused the Armenian Genocide, as I understand it.
Could be.
That was why I had questions. I didn't realize they were...
Could very well be. I just know this. 5 to 10 years ago, Chunk Uyghur would have he would have pulled an Anna Kasparian in this situation. Said, "Oh, I watched the video.
Anna
I guess
Kasparian's his co-host.
Yeah, I guess I was wrong about this." But nowadays, he's just too deep with the far left of the spectrum that he just can't do anything but do as he's told by his overlords.
Yeah, so the Young Turks were the perpetrators of the Armenian Genocide. The Young Turk movement emerged in the reaction to the absolutist rule of Sultan Abdul Hamid with the 1878 suspension of the Ottoman Constitution.
So you could see why he would deny the Armenian Genocide, because he had named his organization after.
Yeah. Well, and they were, I think, a far left political movement in the,
yeah, sure,
like, before the communist takeover in Russia and all that, but
sure.
Yeah. Also, it's my understanding that Hitler took notes from the leader of the Young Turks and how he ran his genocide and improved upon it.
Yeah, I think
That's my understanding.
I know that the Turks have always, I think in both world wars they sided, it was the Ottoman Empire, but
yeah,
that's why the Middle East is cut up the way it is, because they were on Hitler's side.
Yeah.
And then when after World War I or II, the Sykes-Picot Treaty came to be, and they cut up each country so that they would always be divided. They would never unite. So that's why the Kurds don't have their own country. The Kurds are in 4 different countries, and so they're always at odds with the country that they're in. That's why Sunnis and Shiites are in the same country as each other, because they cut it up so that they wouldn't ever unite again.
Yeah.
And they it's kind of a bad deal for the Middle East, but it is what it is,
Don't side with
I
the
guess.
Nazis next time.
Yeah.
A
lot of people act like, oh, Sykes-Picot's the worst thing that ever happened. And the other interesting thing was, in the treaty, each country got assigned a country. So, like, Syria is France's to kind of babysit.
Oh, interesting.
And
okay.
I think Syria and Libya both. And then Afghanistan and Iraq became the U.S.'s problems. And I know that Britain has a couple that they're supposed to be babysitting. And I think the U.S. just kind of took over when they...
We just babysit them all?
Yeah. I think just recently when they killed Gaddafi in Libya, France kind of washed their hands of it. But for a long time before that, France was in Syria.
Yeah, okay.
Kind of doing the same thing we did in Iraq. It's super weird the way the third world works and how we try and control it and babysit. But
have you seen Dune?
No.
Have you heard about it? Read the books at all?
Mm-mm.
I went and saw the movie. I've read most of the book. I'm not quite all the way through it yet, but it's the least subtle artistic representation of the Middle East I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
It's so bad, dude. And like, I'm
when
not
was
sure.
it written?
The 50s, I think, or the 60s,
Really?
maybe.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think it was the 60s. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think it was the 60s. But it's like, it's not subtle at all. He makes it like, I'm pretty sure he's against our involvement in the Middle East, the author, but they're all fighting over this desert planet.
Yeah.
And in that desert planet is like this chemical, they call it spice. And like you can use it to get high, but you can also use it to power interstellar travel. It's like a really not subtle nod to both opium and oil. It's bad, dude. Like,
That's
it's
fun.
not subtle at all.
Was it
It's
good?
good though.
Yeah.
The movie's amazing.
What about your other show? Did you watch it yet?
What?
Wheel of Time.
Wheel of Time.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen that. I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know what Wheel of Time is? Didn't you read those?
No, Golden did.
I thought you'd read them too.
No.
Oh. It's on Prime.
Oh.
It's pretty good.
Oh. Have you read them?
No.
You don't got time for that 14 book series?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. I've noticed that there's kind of like so a lot of people read both, but there's kind of like you're either a Lord of the Rings fan or a Wheel of Time fan.
Oh, interesting.
I've only seen it from Wheel of Time readers that are like, I won't read the Lord of the Rings. And I'm like, oh, that's weird, you know? But
So you're standing in solidarity with J.R.R., huh?
no. I like you said, I'm like, too lazy.
It's not that important to you.
Yeah, but the show's really good.
What?
Golden hates it, but
it's shocking. He's read the books.
He actually apologized to me for it.
Why?
Because I was like, dude, I can't wait for the Wheel of Time to come out because I haven't read it and I'm going to really like it. And you're going to hate it. And he's like, I don't let my reading of books get in the way of me liking a show. He follows me the other day. Sorry. I hate that show so bad.
Oh, classic, dude.
So,
yeah, I recommend it. Dune's good, bro. Visually, it's absolutely stunning.
Yeah, and I was like, you got to go see it in theater. I probably won't, but maybe when it comes out on a streaming service, I'll watch it.
Go on a Tuesday night. It's $5.
All right.
I think all the theaters in the Valley.
Really?
I'm pretty sure.
We'll see.
At least all the theaters in Provo and Orem.
We'll consider such things.
It's good. I enjoyed it. It's also on HBO Max.
Yeah.
Yeah. Canal is pretty bitter. I'm making him go to see it in theaters with me.
Oh, yeah.
I can just watch it for free at home.
Are you...
You're rich and you got nothing else going on. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Rich with blessings.
For sure. What else you got, bro?
I don't know. That might be all. I just had those questions about the Young Turks.
What else you got to talk about is what I was wondering.
Don't kill Armenians.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't... It's a weird thing, man. It's... Che Guevara probably killed as many people, was responsible for as many deaths as probably the Armenians were. And they...
Or the Turks, you mean?
Yeah, and they put him on T-shirts and, you know.
He's the emblem of the counterculture, they think.
That's the thing, though. It's... Solzhenitsyn reminisces on this in Shock. You'll never believe what book, but the Gulag Archipelago. He talks about the Soviet Union never had the Nuremberg trials because they denied it for so long, and then when the Soviet Union collapsed, the people in power controlled it in such a way that they just rolled into the aristocracy that it is
oligarchy.
Now. Yeah, the oligarchy that it is now. So they never that cancer's still there because they never cut it out. They never had a Nuremberg trial. They
treated the symptom, but not the cancer.
He even makes the point of look how free Germany is now, and look how they've recovered from.
Look how incredible Japan is.
Yeah, from such a travesties that they've committed, and it's a society that people long to be a part of. Germany's probably up there with the U.S. as far as people wanting to go to Germany for.
Yeah.
And so I think like Germany and Spain are probably the two highest, but in Europe. But he says that we never got the retribution, or not the retribution, but the reconciliation. We never got any of that because we never had the Nuremberg trials for our country. And I think it's the same because Turkey still denies it to this day. They never had that. So it lends itself to, yeah, Russia's fairly successful now there, but they're not Germany. You know, there's not people clamoring to go there.
They're not one of the, they don't manufacture some of the best engineered goods in the world.
Yeah, and you know, some people would say, oh well, then maybe we should do reparations for Indians and blacks, but the Nuremberg trials were the victims got to see the reconciliation happen. They got to see the justice. There's no, you know, we knew who we were punishing. The people that we were punishing had committed the crime. Who are you going to punish now?
Yeah.
Who's committed the crimes now? You know, no, none of us have committed the crimes. So it's not the same. You know, you can't make the comparison. Well, leftists do, but they're liars. Ask Chunk Uger.
Chunk Uger.
The chunkiest liar ever.
Yeah, he's not He's not a tiny individual.
The funny thing was he challenged Joe Rogan to a fist fight. He said he'd beat up Joe Rogan. He was mad at Joe Rogan for the whole...
Ivermectin?
Yeah.
Why? Chunk, you can't win.
He said, Joe Rogan's teeny. I've been fighting my whole life. I'd beat him up. And it's like, I guess where Chunk is kind of a chunker, he's still only like 5'8", and Rogan's 5'7", so okay.
Also, that dude is bad to the bone, man.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm 6'2", and I wouldn't freaking challenge him to a fight. I'm 6'2" and no karate. But I've seen his kicks, dude. They're scary as crap, bro. I've been kicked by guys that kick as good as he does.
Dude, he's freaking 53 years old, and I'm like, oh, no chance. You can kick me in the head. And I'm 6'5", and he could rock my head, dude.
Yeah, he's a...
All those kicks you see in the UFC, he can throw. He taught those dudes.
Yeah. So that's just funny, though. Yeah. It's also funny because they're big on, like...
Also, he doesn't have the vaccine slowing him down.
Yeah. Chunk confusing his brain. Maybe that's what's wrong with me, dude. I got the vax. I didn't really.
Oh. Really? When?
So, they're big on, like, fat shaming. Like, how dare you fat shame people? And then there's this video. Yeah. There's this video of Alex Jones surprising them on set for a debate. They'd been talking about each other. And the first thing out of Anna Kasparian's mouth is, "Get off a stage, you fat effer." Just calling him a fat ass and telling him to get out of here, you fat ass. It was quite humorous.
Good. I'm glad.
I've watched those compilations for days.
I'm glad. Dude, say what you will about Alex Jones. They did turn the frogs gay.
They turned them into trannies. Dude, I actually watched a Tim Pool episode with Alex Jones, Joe Rogan, Michael Malice, and a bunch of other people. Oh, Blair White was on again, and this one guy was arguing with Michael Malice about the Constitution, about how they're getting us. He was saying they're causing us to lose faith to lose faith in the Constitution, to not understand our constitutional rights and how it works. And Michael Malice goes, "Okay, Sean Hannity, the Constitution doesn't work. It doesn't make any sense." I'm like, okay, you're arguing the same thing. Then he's like, George Washington put reporters in prison for talking bad about the government, which I've never heard, but could be. Yeah. But I'm like, that doesn't change that. That's what people don't understand about the Constitution. People think the Constitution is this magic document that protects our rights. No, it gives us the moral authority to protect our own rights. That's the difference, you freaking morons. Like, they didn't write this paper thinking, yeah, this'll protect our rights. No, they're not idiots. They're like, here's the moral authority, you protect them. Like,
oh boy, yeah, that's brutal.
Sorry, what were you saying?
I have a lighthearted story about Alec Baldwin, if you're interested.
Heck yeah.
Not about him shooting.
Darn it. That's not lighthearted.
It's lighthearted. So, he was hosting Saturday Night Live. And for one of the sketches, Pete Davidson had to take his shirt off.
Yeah.
And Alec Baldwin comes up to him after and goes, "What do you do to stay in such good shape?" And he was talking about on Fallon, and Pete Davidson goes, "And I didn't want to be a dick and be like, I still have a metabolism. I'm 21 and you're mid-50s. Like, yeah." So he goes, "I do 100 push-ups and 100 crunches every night." And then Alec Baldwin started doing that and lost a bunch of weight. And then he got the job to play Trump on Saturday Night Live, so he was coming in more regular. Every time he saw him, he'd be like, 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, bro. And Pete would be like, "Yeah, man." And then it just like, I guess he lost like 60 pounds.
Oh,
dude.
how funny, dude.
Got in super good shape, got all ripped for like a 55-year-old, you know? And then like,
How funny.
Davidson's like, yeah, I'm 23.
Yeah, you can tell Pete Davidson does not do 100 push-ups and 100 sit-ups every night.
He'd be jacked if he did, bro. He'd be jacked.
Dude, have you heard Norm Macdonald talk about him?
Mm-mm. Pete Davidson?
No.
Oh, Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin. He said, yeah, he was a guest host one time, and he was married to, like, one of the hottest women of the time. I can't remember what her name is, but he said, yeah, he'd come in and always be complaining about his wife, and we'd all be like, her? What the hell's the matter with you? You know, like, and then, or he'd come in and be like, damn, I'd cut off my left arm to sleep with that receptionist out there. Norm Macdonald's like, you could just ask her. So funny. Oh, the man's a savage, and Alec Baldwin's a moron. But for another day.
Guns don't kill people.
What time is it?
51 minutes. It's almost 6.
It is like crazy that he said in the past, I wonder what it feels like to accidentally shoot somebody. And then he intentionally shoots this woman. Just kidding. I don't know if it's intentional. But there's a lot of like evidence going that direction.
I like the conspiracy aspect of it, bro.
Because her husband worked for Clinton's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that conspiracy.
The Clintons strike again.
Alec Baldwin didn't shoot that girl, and Epstein didn't kill him.
At least the murder's out of the White House.
Oh my gosh, dude, that's the funniest Norm Macdonald bit ever on The View.
For sure.
I'm just glad that murderer's out of the White House.
Yeah.
Freak. Anything else you got?
So I was at Thanksgiving dinner, you know, and
we can talk about it now. Your family hasn't listened this far.
My son's been, yeah, the turkey was dry as hell, bro. Anyways,
damn,
my son, yeah, it was rough. My son has been hitting the gym. He's been getting some routines from his mom.
I've seen him,
and he's getting stacked. And
something about being 17.
He's always like,
"Get you ripped."
What do you always talk about? How big I am, and then tell me what a wuss I am. I'm like, you're getting huge. It's making me insecure. I'm putting you in your place. But
the cutthroat honesty of the Bishop family.
He
praise God.
He said, but then we were there today, and his aunt was standing there, and I started bean dipping him. I was like, see how big he's getting? And she just was like ignoring it, you know? And then I squeezed his arm. I was like, do you see how big he's getting? And she just like ignores it. Finally, Aaron's like, if you don't answer him, he's going to keep flicking his boob and, you know. And she's like, yeah, my husband just treats my daughter like that. And I really just wanted to leave her alone. And I'm like, first of all, this is different. I don't think he flicks her boob. But
I was going to say, that sounds like...
But I'm like, first of all, where I was irritating him with the bean dipping, he is dying to show those muscles off. And if you want proof of that, just come to my house anytime after school where he's got his shirt ripped off. Whether it's freezing cold or hot as heck.
Or just look at what freaking shirts he wears.
I know. I'm like, trust me, he's loving the attention, lady. Why don't you?
Canal always wears tiny shirts like that.
Get off my back.
I put one of his shirts on once. I was like, oh, these aren't that small.
He just can't find a bigger size.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this guy needs to be buying. If he wants any kind of freaking bagginess at all on this, he needs a 3X. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Giant.
So, anyways. I just thought that was funny. I'm just the worst parent over there.
Also,
is all.
That's always been true.
Yeah.
I think it's different because you're showing off your son for things he can control.
Yeah, that's the thing.
He's putting in a lot of work. Yeah, it's teasing like, you know, the bishops are, but he's putting in a lot of work in the gym. And
yeah.
Dude, I know every time it comes up at the house, he's like, oh, stop it, I'm not that big. But then he like makes that face. Oh, I love it. Keep talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
You know that false piety or false humility?
Yeah.
Not false piety.
Yep. He's a good boy though.
Oh.
He works his guts out, dude. Gets home from 3 hours of wrestling, hits the gym. Like, dang, bro.
Gross. What weight's he trying to wrestle?
I don't know. He was trying for 158, but I don't think he's going to be heavy enough.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that surprised me. He's jacked, bro.
Yeah, but he's still young. It's that young jacked. You know, got all the
hormones.
I don't think your bones are as dense or something. I don't know. It's just harder to be heavy even when you're jacked as a young kid. You know, even there's like 20-year-old, 25-year-old kids in the gym now that look way bigger than me, but I bet they don't weigh. You know, plus he's not as tall.
You've had a life of pushing heavy things.
Yeah, I just think that your bone's dense or something as you get older. I think the average 30-year-old that's my size is heavier than the average 20-year-old that's my size. You know.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
So
I broke 200, bro.
What? Nice. Been working out or just
Nah, just eating like a fat
eating
kid.
the baklava.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you want a piece? It's like a sushi platter of baklava.
Nice.
There's like 5 different options.
Nice. Yeah. I'll eat on this pile of dirty laundry over here.
Hey, that's clean.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I like to keep it there instead of in the closet.
Good choice.
I don't like to.
My room's the same way. So
I get busy, man. You know.
Yeah, I'm
running a job.
Running a job.
Not having a boss to
You the job
handle
runner
everything
now?
for me.
Sorry, bro.
Dude, am I ever, dude? I freaking run that place. I'm in charge up there.
Good. Glad to hear.
Like I make that joke, but like a little bit.
Good.
Freaking. I probably shouldn't put it on the air.
All right. So, right on. Okay, should we call it, or do you got something else?
No, I'm chilling.
Any
You
more
good?
stories?
You good?
Wow. Yeah, shut her down.
All right.
Hurry up. Shut her down.
Hey, y'all have a good week.
Yep.
God bless.
Thanks for tuning in.
Good week or month, maybe. Still going.